Dear students, welcome to the class of Immunology, and this class is going to be the introduction part of Immunology. Myself Shamina, Head and Associate Professor, Department of Biochemistry, Rathnavale Subramaniam College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, India. What is immunology? Immunology is the study of immune system, and it is a very important branch of the medical and biological sciences. The immune system protects us from the infection through various line of defense. We all know that our country is being safeguarded by the soldiers. They stand in the borders, and whenever there is an entry of the enemies into our country, they act as the first line of defense in protecting our country. Similarly, when there is a cut in your body, the blood started to ooze out. This will happen naturally. But when a cut is there, at the borders of the cut, the pathogens might enter into your body. In order to prevent the pathogens entering into your body, the white blood cells, which we call it as WBC cells, they come and align themselves along the border. So these cells are now barriers for the pathogen to enter into your body. So you cannot get infections at all. So just like soldiers just safeguarding our country, similarly WBCs are functioning within your body. So we think that where does these cells come? These cells, not only WBCs, there are lots of immunological cells that protect your body from the harmful pathogens. Suppose if your immunological system is not functioning as it is in normal state, so what will happen? The pathogen will start to invade, they start to disturb our daily routine system that happens within our body, which may end up with diseases such as autoimmune disorders, allergy, cancer, etc. Why is immunology so important? Yes, for this question, we have to answer like immunological research, which is more important nowadays. It continues to extend horizons in our understanding of how to treat the significant health issues with ongoing research efforts in immunotherapy, autoimmune diseases, and with the formation of vaccines for the emerging pathogens such as Ebola. And now in this pandemic situation due to COVID-19, the more important recommendation given by WHO is to boost up our immunity so that when we become immunologically strong, the guidelines says that we can fight against any sort of infections that which come within your body. And advancing our understanding of basic immunology is essential for clinical and commercial application, and it has facilitated the discovery of new diagnostics and for the treatment of various diseases. What is an immunologist? An immunologist is a person who is a scientist or a clinician who is very much specialized in the field of immunology. And many immunologists work in a laboratory focusing on research either in the academia or private industry. Example, you can say some pharmaceutical industries. The other immunologists, whom we call it as clinical immunologists, they are none other than the persons who are clinicians, who generally focus on diagnosis, management of diseases of immune system, such as autoimmune diseases and allergies. Definitions related to immunology. Defining an immune system. It is all about the cells, tissues and molecules that mediate the immunological resistance against any sort of infections. To define about immunology, it is nothing but a branch of science dealing with the study of structure and function of the immune system. To say about immunity, it is defined as the resistance of a host to the harmful pathogens and their toxic effects. So what is immune response or immunological response? The collective and the coordinative response of an individual when a foreign substance get introduced inside their body, and in the individual, because of the infection, the cells of the individual start to mediate a sort of response, and that response is termed as immunological response. What is the immune system for? So the immune system is mainly to protect our body from infections. A strong immune system is our best antidote against infectious illness and diseases. As long as your immune system runs smoothly, you don't even notice that there is a system called immune system inside your body. So the main role of immune system is to protect against pathogens by eliminating the damaged or the malignant cells from your body. The immune system. The immune system is a complex system of structures and processes that are evolved to protect us from various diseases. The molecular and cellular components make up the complete immune system in our body. The functions of these components is being divided into non-specific mechanisms. They are those which are innate to an organism, that is the body's its own system, and the other is the responsive responses, which are adaptive to specific pathogens. Usually, the fundamentals of classical immunology involves the studying of components that which make up both the innate as well as adaptive immune system. The immune system is a complex network of specialized cells, tissues, organs that recognize and defend the body from the harmful pathogens. Primarily, the disease-causing organisms such as you can say the bacteria, viruses, parasites and fungi. And the main organs and tissues of the immune system includes these things like mucous membrane, lymphatic vessels, thymus, skin, bone marrow, tonsils, lymph nodes, spleen and the lymphatic vessels. Other than that, the granulocytes, macrophages and T lymphocytes are also examples of specialized cells. The lymphatic vessels of the immune system carry immune cells which converge in the lymph nodes and throughout the body. A swollen lymph node often indicates that an active immune response to a foreign substance. So an infection gradually destroys the immune system. Based on the different mechanism, the immunity is being classified into two types, innate immunity and acquired immunity. Innate immunity is the immunity that is inborn within the individual. And acquired immunity is the immunity that is being acquired by the individual during the lifetime process. As per definition, the innate immunity is the first line of defense and it is non-specific in nature. The responses are the same for all the potential pathogens. They are also different. Sometimes it might be like that. And the innate immunity may include the physical barriers, for example, the skin, the outer layer of the skin. Sometimes they trap the microorganism that which come and sit on the first layer of the skin, and saliva, etc. And the cells usually macrophages, neutrophils, basophils, and mast cells. The components are ready to go and protect an organism for the first few days of infection. In few cases, it is enough to clear the pathogen out of your body. But in some instances, the first line of defense becomes overwhelmed and the second line of defense kicks into the picture. When coming to the adaptive immunity, it is the second line of defense which involves building up of memory of encountered infections, so can mount an enhanced response specific to an antigen or a pathogen. So the adaptive immunity involves the antibodies which generally target the foreign pathogens which are roaming free in our bloodstream. It just involves the involvement of the T cells which are directed specially towards the pathogen that have colonized cells and can directly kill the infected cells to help to control the antibody response. In order to keep our bodies safe and secure, the immunological system are having few barriers which prevent the microorganisms from entering into our body. The main barriers are anatomical barriers, physiological barriers, phagocytotic barriers, and the inflammatory barriers. The anatomical barriers. The first one is the skin. The outer layer of the skin that covers our body acts as a mechanical barrier in retarding the entry of microbes, so that any dust particle or any microorganisms that comes on the surface of the skin will not be allowed to enter deep into our body. And the acidic environment, which resists with a pH of about 3 to 5, retards the growth of microbes. Thereby the microorganism cannot resist and they cannot grow over there. And next one is the mucous membrane. It is also an anatomical barrier because it is in the lining of the nasal part and several other linings. And because of the mucus secretion, this secretion has an ability to entrap the foreign microorganisms. Thereby, the organisms does not enter into our body. And next is the physiological barrier. The first one is temperature. The human body temperature and the fever response or the immediate response that is shown when there is an entry of microorganisms. This inhibits or stops the growth of pathogens to grow inside our body. And the low pH, we know the acidic pH of our stomach is pH 2. Because of this nature, with the pH 2, it has a property to kill most of the ingested microbes that which enter into the stomach. And hence while the temperature and the pH act as a good physiological barrier. And next is the phagocytotic barriers. There are many phagocytotic barriers which has a property to engulf the bacteria, digest it, and finally elude it from our body. Those cells which act as a phagocytotic barriers are neutrophils, macrophages, and the NK cells. They have the property to ingest, to swallow, okay? They will start to destroy the microbes by the process of endocytosis and phagocytosis. Thereby, the organism is damaged. And finally, the inflammatory barriers. The tissue damage and the infection due to the leakage of the vascular fluid which contain the serum protein will act as an antibacterial activity. Therefore, immediate type of inflammatory responses to create any sort of allergy will be prevented. These are the barriers of our immunological system. Types of immunity. Types of immunity is being classified as innate and adaptive immunity, and the immunity is brought out by the organs, lymph nodes, tonsils, spleen, Peyer's patch by the action of the lymphatic cells, T cells and B cells. Immunity is the capability of multicellular organisms to resist among harmful microorganisms that which enter into our body. Immunity involves both type of specific and non-specific components. The non-specific components mainly act as barriers because they eliminate the range of pathogens irrespective of what the antigenic makeup is made up of. The other components of immunological system adapt themselves to each new disease that they are encountering with them, and they generally provide pathogenic specific immunity. Immunity that has been classified as innate and adaptive immunity is further been classified as natural and artificial. The natural adaptive immunity is of two types, passive and active, and the artificial adaptive immunity is also of two divisions, passive and active type. Innate immunity, also called as native immunity, they exist by virtue of an organism that it is a genetic makeup. Without an external stimulation or a previous inspection, it is divided into two types. They are non-specific innate immunity and specific innate immunity. When I say non-specific, it is a degree of resistance to an infection that it encounters. And specific innate immunity is a resistance to a particular kind of organism only. As a result, some particular races, the particular individuals or breeds in agriculture do not suffer from certain type of infectious diseases, and this sort of immunity we term it as specific innate immunity. Coming to adaptive immunity, it can be subdivided depending upon how the immunity was introduced in naturally acquired through a chance of contact with a disease causing agent where artificial acquired immunity develops. Both naturally and artificially acquired immunity can further be subdivided depending upon whether the host build up immunity itself by an antigen or not. As an active immunity, and it will last for a very long time throughout their life. Passive immunity is acquired through transfer. That is a transfer either because of injection or through infusion of antibodies or activated T lymphocytes from an immune host. So it has a very short life, usually which can last for a few months. So this diagram depicts about the immunity and its types. Coming to the natural immunity, it occurs through contact with the disease that is causing through agent. When a contact was not deliberate, example if it is not deliberate, where an artificial immunity develops only through the deliberate action of exposure to a pathogen. Both the natural and the artificial immunity can further be subdivided depending upon the time the protection lasts for an individual. And passive immunity is very short life and usually lasts for a few months, whereas protection via active immunity lasts for a very long time, and sometimes this immunity resists throughout their lifetime. Our immune system is essential for our survival. We all believe that, right? So without an immune system, our bodies would be prone to pathogens, and there will be a lot of organisms attacking our body and providing all sorts of disturbances. So immunological system has to work in an effective way. To work in an effective way, some sort of cells are actually behind the immunological system, and those vast networks of cells and tissues are constantly working down in order to eradicate the harmful pathogens. The immune system is spread throughout the body and many types of cells, organs and proteins and tissues are being distributed. So crucially, it can distinguish our tissues from the harmful cells as self and non-self cells. And dead and faulty cells are being recognized and cleared away by the process of immunological system. For example, if an immune system comes across a pathogen, it is encountering. You just imagine that. So what will happen? The immunological system will mount itself in producing the immunological response via these type of cells. The first and foremost cells I can say about the WBC cells, which are generally called as leukocytes. They circulate in the blood vessels and the lymphatic vessels in parallel to the veins and arteries. And these white blood cells, they are in constant patrol looking for the pathogen. Wherever they come across the pathogen, they immediately start to eat them and they will demolish it. They will find a target. When they find the target, they begin to multiply and send the signals so that all the cell types becomes cautious in eradicating the pathogen from our body. Our white blood cells are stored in different places of our body, which are referred as lymphoid organs. And those lymphoid organs mainly includes the following: the thymus, spleen, bone marrow and the lymph nodes. The thymus, it is a gland between the lungs and just below the neck. Spleen, it is an organ that filters the blood. It sits in upper left of the abdomen. The bone marrow, it is found in the center of the bones. It is also produces RBC, which we call it as red blood corpuscle cells. And another one is lymph nodes. These are very small glands positioned throughout the body linked with the lymphatic vessels. Looking at the diagram, we can see the white blood cells play a vital role in circulating throughout our body in controlling the entering of pathogens, and once they enter, they also try to eradicate them. And the main role of the lymphocytic cells are phagocytosis, that is the cells which perform the phagocytosis in order to eradicate the harmful pathogens. And these phagocytes are cells that they surround and absorb the pathogen. They break down into smaller substances and effectively eating them, and they will try to eradicate from our body. There are several types of phagocytes. They are neutrophils, monocytes, macrophages, mast cells. To say about the neutrophils, these are the most common type of phagocyte and they tend to attack the bacteria. The monocytes, these are the largest type and they have several roles inside the lymphatic system. The macrophages, so these patrol for pathogens and they remove the dead and dying cells within the body. And the mast cells, they have many jobs including helping to heal the wounds and defend upon the pathogens. And looking at this picture is the macrophage. So imagine when a bacterium encounters inside near the surface of the macrophage, the receptors will start to join with them. They will bind to it and bring the bacteria or ingest the bacteria just like an amoeba through the pseudopodia, how it will absorb the food particle. Similarly, the bacterium will be ingested into the macrophage. And the receptor, once it takes the bacterium inside, it just binds with the lysosome present over there to bind together to form a phagolysosome. And this lysosome has a very specific enzyme, lytic enzyme, which has a property to lyse the bacteria. And when they bind together, the lysosome throw the lytic enzyme over the phagosome and they will start to digest the organism. So once digested, no more the bacteria can survive inside the macrophage. Thereby, it releases out or through the process of exocytosis, the debris are being pushed out from the macrophage. This is how a bacterium which is taken inside the macrophage is digested with the help of the lysosome, and finally it is lysed off from the body. So the immunological response that is brought out by the lymphocytes can be either a rapid response or a slow response. To speak more about the lymphocytes help the body to remember the previous invaders, and they will recognize them if they come back again for the second attack. Lymphocytes begin their life mainly in the bone marrow, and that is why the cells that are derived from the bone marrow are typically termed as B lymphocytes. So some stay back within the bone marrow itself, and they develop into B lymphocytes, or generally called as B cells. Other cells, they migrate away from the lymphocytes, they will travel to the thymus, and they will become into T cells or T lymphocyte cells. So the two cell types have different roles. That is, the B lymphocytes, they will produce antibodies and help to alert the T lymphocytes for the immunological action. Whereas the T lymphocytes, they destroy the compromised cells in the body and they help to alert other leukocytes. So to say more about the role of B lymphocytes are they will spot the antigen. Once they spot the antigen, they start to secrete the antibody. Antigen, which is short, we call it as antibody generators, and these antibodies are special proteins that lock the specific antigen. And the B cells are more specific, they will make more specific antibody. For instance, one might make an antibody against the bacteria that causes, for example, pneumonia, and another might cause cold virus. Antibodies are a very large family of chemicals which we generally call as immunoglobulins, which play a vital role in bringing the immunological response, usually IgG. IgG, which is immunoglobulin G, they mark microbes so that the cells can recognize and deal with them. There are immunoglobulins which we call it as IgM. They are expert in killing the bacteria. IgA, it will concretes its fluid such as tears and saliva, where it protects a gateway into the body. IgE, it will protect against the parasites, and also it will blame for allergies. IgD, it stays bound to the B lymphocytes, helping them to start the immunological response. And coming now to the role of T lymphocytes. The T lymphocytes are distinct types. They are helper T cells and killer T cells or T cytotoxic cells. And sometimes the cell will also be suppressive in nature, which we call it as T suppressor cells. Helper T cells, which are called as TH cells, they coordinate the immunological response. They will communicate with the other cells, and some stimulate with the B cells to produce the antibodies. So the other attracting T cells, which will cause the cell-eating phagocytic to work and thereby eradicating the microorganisms. And next one is the T killer cells, which we call it as cytotoxic T lymphocytes. As the name itself suggests, T cells that will attack the organism, or it will release the cytotoxins to kill the cell. So they are particularly useful for fighting the viruses. They work by recognizing very small part of the virus on the outside of the infected cell, and thereby they destroy all the infected cells that comes inside the body. In a nutshell, I can say the immune system is incredibly complicated and utterly vital for our survival. Several different systems and cell types of work is perfect synchrony. That is, most of the time they will be working throughout our body to fight off the pathogens and clear up the dead cells from our body. Thereby we can remain healthy and sound. Thank you all. Meet you all again with another immunology related video.